I think she's the Oaks winner. I really do.
This horse is going to step up and he's going to blitz the Derby.
And 14 to 1, I think she's way too big a price.
What I'm kind of hoping for is that Jack agrees with me here.
I don't think Bolshoi Ballet's our Derby winner.
I guess we'll just finish the video there, Jack. Hello and welcome to the Next Gen Racing YouTube channel for our feature video this week, which is the York Dante Festival preview. We had the Chester Festival that we previewed last week. This week we have the York Festival. We're very much looking forward to that. And we've got our preview coming to you on Thursday, which will be the preview of the Lockinge and the French 2000 and 1000 guineas. And Jack, before I ask how you are, I'm going to do this just for Dave O'Keefe, who wasn't happy with the fact that we'd switched sides on camera. So if we just flick it there, we should switch.
Yeah, good. I mean, we had a nap. We had a winning nap. Armory won for us at 3 to 1 for Chester. We also have a nap today for this weekend. So let's hope we can make it 2 out of 2.
There we go. And everyone's looking forward to that. And we'll get stuck right in. We're going to look at the group races over the meeting, over the 3 days. We'll kick off with Wednesday, the 240, which is the Duke of York Clipper Logistics Stakes, which is a Group 2 over 6 furlongs. Oxted is your favourite here, 100 to 30. Art Power is 7 to 2. Starman is 4 to 1. Malafam is 8 to 1. Nahar is 9 to 1. Final Song 10s and 12 to 1. And Bigger the rest. Jack, a nice little open sprint to kick things off. Who have you sided with here?
Yeah, it's actually quite a tough one because usually they're a lot more exposed coming into this. And of course, Oxted kind of ticks those boxes. They usually have at least 12 runs coming into this. So obviously a few of them there, you've got Starman, of course, who has only had the 4. You've got Art Power, who hasn't had that many as well. So it's quite an intriguing race from there. I mean, I'm a bit annoyed, if I'm being honest, because it's always a benefit to be up with the pace, and there isn't a proper pacemaker in this. So I do think it could turn into a bit of a mess of a race where you have 5 or 6 all in contention at the line. And then I do think you can't write off Brando. I know he's 9 years old, but he's been running well again this year, and he was second last year in a Group 1. I think he's going to be there or thereabouts yet again, especially if the rain comes. We're kind of up in the air with how much rain there's going to be on Wednesday, Thursday, even Tuesday night. So it'd be interesting to see there. But for me, I think at a double figure price, Summergan's been running really well. There's just a few question marks for the others for me. Obviously, the long layoffs. Oxted didn't run well last time out. There's Ryan Moore on board instead of Kieran Fallon. I'd rather have Fallon on board, who gets on really well with the horse. But Summergan's fit. He's been coming into this quite well, and he's 11 to 1, 4 places each way they're paying. So I think that's an okay price to be taking into this first race.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Oxted's not really a horse that I've really got to grips with. Not a horse that I've really fallen in love with, and trying to catch him on his day is not easy. The horse that you mentioned there, Starman, who's just had the 4 runs, he won the Garraby Stakes last season over this course and distance. He's an improving 4-year-old, I think. Oisin Murphy is jocked up on this horse, and he's been well supported in the market. I think a lot of people think this horse is a sprinter to watch this season. I think he's actually going to go and win this with the course and distance form. The one who is interesting in here, who is a horse that I thought had a hell of a lot of potential, and he did look like that when he won at Ascot in a handicap, was Art Power, who runs here for the King Power colours. And just looking at him, I think good to soft is probably as good as he'll want the ground. I don't think he'll want anything quicker than that. Otherwise, in a bit of spot of bother there. But like I say, for Jack, it's going to be Summergand at double figure odds. And for myself, I'm going to be siding with Starman in the Clipper Logistics Duke of York Sprint. Right, the next race on the card is the Musadora Stakes, a Group 3 over the extended 1.25 miles for the 3-year-olds. So this is a decent Oaks trial here. Tiona Favarian's team is 6 to 5. Noon Star 5 to 2, a very well-bred horse, Noon Star. Mystery Angel 4 to 1. Sanita is 10 to 1. Snowfall for the Ballydoyle team, that horse is 11 to 1 and 14 to 1, and Bigger the rest. Now, Jack, Tiona is a See the Stars filly, and a horse that a lot of people have been talking up going into the Oaks. 2 big performances at Newcastle, winning by 9 lengths last time. The second on that horse's first appearance actually went and won at Christmas time as well. So the horse has got some fairly decent form in the book, but with a horse on the all-weather, I find it very difficult to sort of, move onto the turf and be confident that this horse is just going to go and win straight away.
Yeah, as well, I'm a fitness merchant. You've got the question of will they be able to transfer it to turf? I think she will, fine. But then you've got the fitness question mark. I mean, 5-4 is a short price to be looking after such a break. I know she did it at Newcastle comfortably, but I think she was 3-1 on that day when she won by 9 lengths. So yeah, it was a good performance. Don't get me wrong. But for me, it's all about Noon Star. If she progresses how I think she is, I think she's the Oaks winner. I really do. I think she has a massive chance. I was really impressed with the way she stuck her neck out and powered home ahead of Loving Dream at Weatherby. And of course, that form's been advertised really nicely. You've got Sherbet Lemon winning the Oaks trial at Lingfield, and of course, Ocean Road and Loving Dream in behind there. I mean, she's got fitness on her side. And even though I'll probably be sitting back and watching this because I don't really want to oppose Tiona, even though I do think she's incredibly short, but I do think we're going to be seeing two fillies with some serious Oaks credentials here.
Yeah, look, I'm completely with you here, Jack. I think Noon Star is, like I say, a really well-bred filly. And you kind of said it there that Frank the Form with the Weatherby run, with Loving Dream, who I actually thought was quite unlucky in the Oaks trial at the weekend. I don't think the horse would have won, but seemed to sort of get past and then stay on again. But Frankie got blocked off, and the fourth in that was Sherbet Lemon, who went and won that race. But you got to remember that this horse also, Noon Star, beat Ocean Road as a 2-year-old. So some really cracking form. And at the moment with the Oaks picture a bit up in the air, I'm actually with Jack. I think Noon Star at the moment, especially if Going winning this, is going to be your Oaks winner. The one that is interesting in here, who's fairly short for a smaller yard, who are up and coming, is George Bowie's horse, Mystery Angel, who went and won the Pretty Polly. Now, George Bowie's having a cracking season, by the way. He's had some really nice horses. He's a trainer to watch going forward. 3 starts before winning that race, though, this season. I just don't really like a horse that's had so many starts, and it almost seemed like that horse had the fitness edge in the Pretty Polly Stakes over the rest of the field with those 3 starts. But for Jack and I in the race, it's going to be Noon Star, who could go on from this and win the Oaks at Epsom. Right, we move on to Thursday now. It's the Middleton Filly Stakes, a Group 2, again over the extended 1.25 miles. Your betting looks like this. Queen Power is your 9-4 favourite. Cayenne Pepper for Jessica Harrington, 5-2. She's actually got 2 in the race. Passion is also 5-2. Silence Please, that's the other horse, Jessica Harrington. That's 11-2. Cabaletta is 6-1. Oriental Mystique is 9-1. Shamard is 10-1 and 14-1. And Bigger the rest. Now, before we came on air today, Jack and I both said our nap comes in this race. Now, we have no idea whether we actually agree with this horse or who it's going to be. But my horse was actually, I put out on Twitter and asked people to put their best bet up for the Dante Festival. And the person who actually tweeted, Daft Lloyd _95, said that he really liked the Jessica Harrington horse, Cayenne Pepper, who I also really, really like in this. Cayenne Pepper will be my nap of the week. A great 2-year-old campaign, this horse, with 3 out of 4 wins. Runs well, very fresh, obviously finishing behind Magical last season, then going on to finish second in the Irish Oaks. I actually thought that second behind Magical would have been good enough to win the Irish Oaks. A bit unlucky in that, but I think this horse over 1.2 miles, I think this horse's distance is just perfect here. I think Jessica Harrington's bought this horse over. She hasn't actually, with this horse, had a good record in England. I think the tweet actually mentioned that. I don't know if we can bring the tweet up on screen. But it's great to hear your guys' opinions. Do put them down in the comments if you are enjoying these videos. Let us know who you think is going to be winning during the festival. The last win was on good ground. The horse is probably going to get good ground. I predict it's going to be around that. It might be good to soft, but I don't think that'll be too much of an issue. And I genuinely think this horse is going to go and absolutely bolt up in this Middleton Stakes. Now, what I'm kind of hoping for is that Jack agrees with me here, but we're about to find out who his nap is in this race.
I'm just gonna leave you waiting. Yeah, I actually do. I agree with you. My nap for the week is Cayenne Pepper. 10-3 with Paddy Power and Betfair. I think let's start from the beginning. I think the Irish hold a strong hand. For me, Queen Power is nowhere near the front of the market. I don't understand how she's favourite. She was second last time out. I think she has a fitness edge over them, but that's about it. 3 of the last 11 winners came from the fillies and mares on Champions Day, so of course Passion will attract a lot of attention. That being said, I mean, there's a question mark for me massively about the trip with Passion, and also Cayenne Peppers held her on twice at the Curragh and also Cork when they were in behind Tanawa, who was 8-1 that day. Goodness me. But I think if Cayenne Pepper goes, she wins. I mean, you've said it. She runs well, fresh in behind Magical. She has the beating of passion. I don't think Queen Power will be anywhere in the picture. And also, I do think that you can forgive her for the run in the Breeders' Cup. It was on firm ground. She didn't really like that. And 10-3 is the next gen nap of the week.
That's it. Cayenne Pepper is going to win the Middleton Stakes. I guess we just finished the video there, Jack.
Should just finish it there.
Right, on to the highlight of the meeting now. It's the Dante Stakes, a Group 2, again over the extended mile and a quarter. I don't know how we can go on from what's just gone on with a joint nap there with Cayenne Pepper. I still can't. Let's go through the betting for the Dante. High Definition is your 10-3 favourite. Van Gogh, who was 8th in the 2,000 guineas, but a decent eye catcher, and that is 4-1. Gear Up, 9-2. Alan Kerr is 5-1. Hurricane Lane, I think, is the only unbeaten horse in here, is 11-2. Wordsworth is also 11-2. Royal Champion is 6-1. Sir Lamrack is also 6-1. John Leaper, 8. McGallen, 8. And 10-1 and bigger the rest. But you can make a case for a lot more than the ones that I've just mentioned there. God, what a corker of a blooming Dante. If they all go here, this is an absolute corker. High Definition. Obviously, we didn't see High Definition in the Lingfield Derby trial. The blood tests weren't sort of 100% correct. There is potential that we may see the horse in the Dante. I actually see this as one of the better Derby trials. It's a shame, though, because we've already seen the Derby winner in Bolshoi Ballet, who won at the weekend. But that's not bad. But this could be a decent race, and you see the second in the Derby in here. But if High Definition doesn't go here, Ryan, he has a choice whether he rides Van Gogh or he could ride the horse that I quite fancy in here. And that's the brother to Kew Gardens, this Wordsworth, who won really, really nicely. A 21-runner race in really good style, I thought, at the Curragh. I don't know with Van Gogh. Van Gogh's a really interesting one because he was the best performer, from what I know, out of the Ballydoyle team in the 2,000 guineas, and did look like he would sort of step up. And on breeding, looks like he'd want to step up. But if High Definition doesn't go, I wouldn't be surprised to see Ryan ride this Wordsworth. He's only had the 2 runs. Often the Aidan O'Brien horses need a run as a free roll. This horse didn't. Looked very impressive. I think there's more to come from this horse. Like I say, Hurricane Lane, that horse won at Newbury, beating Maxwell, who has since come out and come second, ran a decent race in the D Stakes at Chester last week. Now, the one horse that I don't know about this horse, but a guy on Twitter, I tweeted out after 2,000 guineas saying we are not seeing a decent 3-year-old this season. At the moment, I haven't seen anything that's really caught my eye. And someone tweeted back saying John Leaper with a silence emoji. Right, now this horse here, another 4-length winner at Newcastle. These horses at Newcastle really do my head in, because you can get some superstars come off that track, but I really can't trust them. But comes under the could be anything radar for me, John Leaper, unless Chris knows a lot more than we do, Jack, but we'll have to find out. Alan Kerr, he won the Classic Trial, beating a Dyer who, in my opinion, it was almost like the horse didn't look like he wanted to win at the weekend. Just kept on staying on during that race. McGallen, another Newcastle winner, price-wise selection, anti-post for the Derby, this horse. Fascinating to see how he runs. The horse that I may sort of side with as well in here, it was either Wordsworth or this Gear Up, who won a Group 1 Criterium de Saint-Cloud on heavy ground. I think he's very ground versatile, this horse. The horse he actually beat had won a previous maiden prior to that in good style, and that was a Godolphin horse for Andre Fabre and Miguel Barcelona. But I just think that this horse is a potential Ledger winner in the making. Mark Johnson does like to, he actually uses this race as well. He's had a good record in this in recent years. Permian in 2017, Mildenberger finished second in 2018. Obviously last year's winner, Thunderous. So I think he does prep horses and have a horse always prep for this race. So Jack, for me, I think it's Gear Up. But like I say, you can make a case for so many more runners in this.
Yeah, you can. It is an absolute screamer. First of all, I don't think Bolshoi Ballets are Derby winner. We saw it with English King last year. The first one that comes out and runs well. 7-4 favourite. We had English King 5-2 after he's won the Derby trial. We see it every year. There's one who comes out early, wins well, and suddenly we're looking at 7-4 favourite. I mean, come on, Sam. 7-4 for the Derby before we've seen the Dante.
No, hold on. I'm not saying that the price is. I'm not saying the price is correct about this horse, but I'm saying the horse will win. I'm not going to be backing the horse now at 7-4, but the horse, great turn of foot, decent time. He's beaten a Group 1 winner in there, in Max Swinney, who was miles back in the field. Right, I just think this horse is going to step up and he's going to blitz the Derby. I really do.
Oh, I mean, he finished fifth to Gear Up in that Group 1, which he won in France. So I
I
mean,
know,
if you
yeah.
fancy Gear Up,
Yeah.
then yeah, but yeah, it's an absolute cracker, isn't it? I think Ryan Moore has an absolute head scratcher. You've got
Mm.
Van Gogh, high definition. You didn't really mention Sir Lamorak there, who won really
Mm.
nicely last time out. That's another one to throw in there. I mean, yeah, who knows? Obviously, they're not all going to go. So Lamorak's been drifting like a barge, so I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't go. Van Gogh's been shortening, so I can imagine he does. Again, Van Gogh didn't really like the ground in the Guineas. I don't
Mm.
think may have needed the run as well. You
Yeah.
can't really know which one of the two it was. Of course, he'll want to go further and further as time goes on. And with high definition, don't get me wrong, I think he was the best juvenile that we saw last year. But I don't like a horse running so quickly after they've been withdrawn somewhere because something's gone
Mm.
wrong. And I know it was his bloods, and I'm not really too in depth with all the details to what happens there when he's failed his bloods. But I don't know if he was unfit to race last week. I don't know why he's suddenly going to be in his prime fit for this. So I definitely won't be backing him for this. But I do think the market's overreacted to him not running. If we'd said he was going straight to the Dante, he'd be half the price he is now for the
Mm.
Derby. I think the drift in the market's gone a little bit too far almost, unless the Ballydor battalion at home know something and the drift's coming from there. But then again, who knows? Royal Champion, I think, is a little bit short. It's been seeing a lot of support. Of course, Youth Spirit, who's in behind, won the Chester Vase, so I get that. As you said, Wordsworth, the half brother to Kew Garden, the full brother, sorry, to Kew
Full brother, yeah.
Gardens. You can't really get too much better than that. At the front of the market, I'd probably, if I was having to stick my neck out for one or two, in fact, it would either be Hurricane Lane or John Leaper. I mean, as you say, they could be anything, but I really do think that form with Maximal from Hurricane Lane's top notch. I think Maximal's a serious looking colt. I mean, it was a bit of a dawdle early doors, and they finished at 114% finishing speed. So they absolutely darted for the line. I think this will be more of a test of stamina, especially if they go at a more true gallop early doors for Hurricane Lane. But Maximal's was second to One Ruler, has been in top class company all the way through, and I think he's going to be a serious colt himself. And I do think Hurricane Lane will be as well. William Buick's already jocked up, so at least you got the certainty that he will go, which is nice because some of these you're not too sure. John Leaper as well. The sky's the limit, isn't it? I mean that turn of foot shown at Newcastle was brilliant, but as you say, Newcastle throws some great ones up and some not so much. So it's a bit of a curveball there. But then if the rain does come, I've been talking about this rain by Thursday, and we do have good to soft, perhaps even soft in places or soft ground. I mean, I mentioned Bellocchio, who ran in the classic trial at Sandown for David Memwisia. Now, he'll want to go further and further as time goes on. I think a mile and a half will be where he wants to go. Of course, I put him up at a big price for that. He clearly wanted further. But the form of his first two runs is working out so well. I mean, on debut, he beat Mohafeth, who's absolutely romped up at Newmarket, and also Alias, who's gone unbeaten since then. Bellocchio's the only horse to beat him, and he's gone 3 out of 3, won by 9 lengths in a Class 3 at Newmarket. He also beat Serona in France, who's now a Group 3 winner. I mean, he's 33 to 1, but David Egan's already been jocked up. I think he could even have a chance in the Prix de Jockey Club if they choose to go that route, because you'll probably get the softer ground, and he'll want the softer ground. But I mean, I'll probably be watching it at the front of the market. If I was having to stick my neck out, it would be John Leaper or Hurricane Lane. But for me, I'll probably just be siding with Bellocchio and watching the front of them go at it.
Okay, yeah. And Jack mentioned a David Manuzia horse there. If you haven't already, do check out the video where Jack goes and visits David Job. I'll put the link down at the bottom of this video in the description. Do check it out because it's a fantastic video. So in the Dante for Jack, the two horses to watch are going to be Hurricane Lane and John Leaper. And for myself, I'm going to be siding with Wordsworth and Gear Up. They're the horses to watch in the Dante Stakes on Thursday. Right, the final group race that we're going to go over before we go into other selections, which Jack's got one for yourselves. It's the Friday, it's the Yorkshire Cup, a Group 2 over a mile and 6 furlongs. Sir Ron Priestley is your 2 to 1 favourite. Santiago is your 11 to 4 second favourite. Naif Road 10 to 3. Believe in Love 5 to 1. Right, you ready? Aram Naveen is 7 to 1. I can tell you now, I've nailed that, Jack. I've literally
Yeah,
looked
I'm
into
really
how it's
impressed with
pronounced.
that. My
Because I could
silence
have,
describes it
I
all.
could have looked at it, and you can look at it and go Amrafraflambrifran, but I know for a fact it's Aram Naveen. I want to say it's something to do with the Irish national anthem. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. Any Irish viewers,
Don't
let
want to
us
get
know.
that
But
wrong.
I'm pretty sure. That horse is 7 to 1. Spanish Mission is 10 to 1. Mirando 12 to 1. Red Verdon 25s, and Wells Fargo is 33 to 1. Now, Sir Ron Priestley won over a mile and a half at Newmarket on Guineas weekend, making all The step up to a mile 6, I think, will only help the horse. I actually think that's probably the horse's best distance. I think he's got speed, but he's got stamina. The talk about him going for the Ascot Gold Cup, there is potential that horse will stay, and I'm just not 100% sure. I think between 1.5 miles and 2 miles is this horse's optimum distance. I think he's going to be very tough to beat. I mean, Santiago was very disappointing on his reappearance at Navan. Seems like with Aidan O'Brien, his horse's first run of the season, they either really flop or they come out and really perform. You never know what to expect on their first run. So there is potential this horse could come on a hell of a lot, and we might see sort of what we saw last season from Santiago. And Naif Road, the horse, if Stradivarius wasn't around last season, would have an Ascot Gold Cup and a Goodwood Cup to his name. Jack, you love Naif Road. Are you going to be siding with him in this?
I'd love to. I mean, I just don't. I think he wants further. I really do. I don't think a mile 6 is where he's at his best, but he should be a dual Group 1 winner. I mean, the fella's only won a Group 3. He needs his day in the sun. He has to. It must be so painful for Mark Johnson hearing John Gosden go, yeah, we're going to have another year with Stradivarius. We're going to have another year with Stradivarius, because Naif Road deserves that win. I really thought he was going to win the Goodwood Cup, and Frankie obviously got out of the tight space he was in. But I think this is all about Mark Johnson. I think Sir Ron Priestley's going to be tough to beat. I mean, since his long break, he's been absolutely outstanding. You can't really fault him. Pole Driver probably did need the run. Santiago, I wouldn't really go anywhere near. Could prove me wrong, but he's definitely not one that I'll be siding with. But yeah, come on, Naif Road. I want his day in the sun. Hopefully it comes on Friday.
There we go. Jack with a heart selection there, hoping that Naif Road can get the job done for the Johnson team. I personally think Sir Ron Priestley, like I say, he'll probably go and win this. Santiago, I mean, you'd have to be worried that the horse, if going here, definitely that the horse may come on a hell of a lot for that run. And if we see the old Santiago, it'll be a real tear up in this over 1.6 miles. So for Jack, it's Naif Road, and for myself, it's going to be Sir Ron Priestley. Right, before we leave you guys, Jack has got a couple of selections for the rest of the meeting at York. Jack, what have you got our viewers?
On Friday, it's the 2:10 at York. It's the fillies race. You got a Snow Lantern. I think she's going to be incredibly tough to beat. She did it really nicely last time out. Sea Empress could be anything. Of course, has the form tied in with Tiona there as well. So who knows what we're going to see there. Creative Flair again on top form for the Godolphin team. But for me, it's going to be Primo Baccio, who's 14-1. Tom Marquand's already been jocked up on board. Was 4th in the Fred Darling to Alcohol Free. Was flying home. Got the joint fastest 3 furlong time with my beloved Vadream, who of course finished 6th in the 1,000 guineas. I think that's top-notch form, and 14-1, I think she's way too big a price.
And there we go, a 14-1 selection for Jack on Friday. That's it for our video this week. Thanks very much for watching, as always. Now, coming your way this weekend, coming to you on Thursday, will be our preview of the lock-in, which is going to be a cracking race. We get to see Palace Pier, who's a heavy favourite in that race. We'll also be previewing the French Guineas, which we're looking forward to do a bit of action from over the sea. And then Jack and I will have our feature videos coming to you. There'll be no festival next week's preview. So Jack and I are going to have a bit of a chat about the Derby and Oaks with only a few weeks to go until the big one. And then we'll have our weekend preview. And then after that, Jack and I may be looking at, well, after Boris's announcement that we're allowed back on racecourses from Monday, the 17th of May, Jack and I will be heading to Goodwood on the 21st of May. We're really looking forward to getting back on track. And we're thinking of doing a vlog for you guys of our first day back on track and sort of having a look. And it may be difficult for us to have a chat with jockeys, but we'll be able to show you around the course and see what we can do there and get a nice video out to you the week after. So looking forward to that. Like I say, thanks for watching, and we will see you on Thursday for our weekend preview.